Casino, aka a gambling machine or a quality machine. What it does is it takes a certain input, in this case a green circuit, and tries to craft the highest quality one that it can based on the ingredients that are available in the circuit node. If it cannot craft the higher qualities, it will craft the basic one, and anything below a certain quality, in this case anything rare or below, will get fed into the recycler so you can get quality ingredients to attempt to craft the higher quality ones. Anything over epic or higher, or however high you set it to, will be kept up to the quantity value that you set when you choose the parameterization options. So how it's set up: you pick how many ingredients you want. In this case, we'll pick a 3 ingredient. We'll pick a red circuit and set it to 10. As you can see, it gets set in all the right places, and all the ingredients in here get set to the red circuit numbers, and so on. Alright, so how it actually works. First, it reads what's in this box, this requester chest, and sends the contents to all these deciders over here. These deciders then read those contents and compare how much of the quality ingredients are available compared to how much are required. In this case, you need 1 iron plate and 3 copper wire to make a green circuit, so it's set to 1 and 3. And if those quality ingredients exist, it outputs the respective quality. The selector combinator at the end, then in ascending mode, will pick the highest quality signal that it receives and output that to the assembler, which is set to set recipe. And that's basically the core of the system. Seeing what's available, crafting the highest quality, sharding whatever is under that quality, and repeat until it produces what you want. This has now produced 2 epic circuits. I just seeded it right at the start of this video, so in the short amount of time it's already created 2 epic circuits purely from the scratch ingredients. I only put the default quality ingredients in here. Okay, a little more specific on the circuitry. So these numbers here are set in the parameterization options. I'll be going over that in a minute, where it automatically picks the amount of the amount of the ingredient that is required according to the recipes. You can see if I click on the red circuit, it's set to 2, 4, and 2. All those numbers are automatically set via parameterization, and you don't need to pick them. So the one tricky thing you're going to run into if you're designing something similar to this is that you need to prevent it from switching recipes when it shouldn't. Specifically, what will tend to happen is that you'll have the amount of ingredients to craft a higher quality one. The inserter will pull it out of the box and put it in the assembler, and that will mean those ingredients are no longer in the logistic network, and it will change the recipe. The cleanest and most elegant solution I found to this, there's a number of different solutions, but the one I like is using a memory cell, aka a sticky circuit here, in order to ensure that once the signals are sent, they stay stuck until a recipe finished signal is sent, which is on the F signal, which is on the red wire. So as you can see, this is set to as long as F equals 0, which means as long as it's not sending a recipe finish signal, output everything. When, as you can see right there, now we have a good example. There, you see it shows the green, and it stays until you see the flash for the reset, which means it's finished crafting, and it switches to the next one. This is what prevents it from switching recipes down at the wrong time. If higher quality ingredients get put up in here, it will automatically switch up, no problem, and it will continuously craft without issue until the threshold is met. Over here, you need to set what you want to keep and what you want to get rid of. Here we have rare, less than rare by default is sharded, and greater than epic is kept by default. I also have this set to rare quality 3s by default because it's easier to upgrade the modules in a blueprint than downgrade them, but you can of course change that to whatever you want. The constant combinator here exists so that if none of these signals are sent, then the default green circuit recipe is sent through. This merely removes anything that is not part of the recipe so that the assembler can be properly cleaned when it switches recipes and doesn't get blocked up. So on to the parameterization. If we take a look at it, we'll look at the 5 ingredient here because it's a little more clear. It's relatively simple. you've got 0, which is your item, and then 1 is set to the parameter ingredient number 1, 2, and so on. And then these values, which are 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, are merely set to these variables, which are the item count of ingredient 1 of parameter 2, and so on. Item count of ingredient 2, 3, 4, and 5. When you pick the appropriate blueprint with the number of ingredients, it reduces this list. I've tried to find a way to make that as part of the parameterization, but there's no real easy way to do that. Maybe if we finally get a way to, say, like read contents to a different signal for, you know, like set recipe or something like that, then there'd be a way for that. But right now, the way assemblers are set up, there's no easy way to do that, so I've just settled it by having, you know, different blueprints for number of ingredients. We also have the quantity over here, also parameterized, which is why those are the two values that pop up, the item and the quantity, when you initially put it down, asking you how, like, what item do you want and how many do you actually want it to craft before it stops. Okay, one last thing I want to note on here. If you want to edit this, if you want to place it down and edit it, or look at the parameterization in more detail, an important thing to note, you need to select something on the, well, to be more precise, you need to put it down. You don't select anything. I need to speak more precisely here. You need to put it down first, and then without actually selecting anything, you need to change all the 0 parameters to like a dummy signal, such as the green circuit. And then when you're done editing it and you re-parameterize it, you need to go into the parameter options and change the 0 value, the green circuit, to a 0 parameter value and move it to the top. And then everything should work, you know, as intended. You might have to recheck a parameter on the quantity or something like that. You know, just make sure it looks like what's in the video. This is essentially kind of like a bug is in the parameterization. I don't know how else to describe it, because if you put the recipe, if you put it down and then try to blueprint it without anything actually in the assembler, then it doesn't seem to actually recognize that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the ingredients of parameter 0. It has to be something that's actually like coming out of an assembler. And since the signal is being set by the deciders, it doesn't quite parameterize right. Hopefully they'll fix that in the future. But to reiterate, to avoid that issue, when you're putting it down to edit, you place it down naked, and then you change all the zeros to a dummy signal, and then when you're done, you change that dummy signal, aka the green circuit, back to the parameter 0, and it will work just fine. And last thing I will show you is it working in an actual game here. We'll take a look at my current spaced out game, or space age, I'm sorry. And I've got a number of them running on Fulgora right now, as you can see, crafting all kinds of things, quality modules. Don't be intimidated by the large number of combinators here. This is just the older design. This was when I was trying to design it, you know, to automatically figure out the items, but, you know, you would still have to put the number in the parameterization. So what's the difference between putting it in the parameterization and just picking a different blueprint? Well, the difference is, well, you have 20 combinators each. This is the new design, so you can kind of see the evolution there. This one has already crafted 20 epic pump jacks, so it stopped. This one I just set up not too long ago to craft epic grinders, so it's just getting going. And there you go. Works smoothly. The bots bring in what's needed. Everything's already set. You can also change this value over here. You can parameterize it if you want. This is easy to add to the parameterization options. You know, you just find the 50 in the parameterization options and check parameterize it, and you can have less than 50 if you want. I just went ahead and set it to 50. It seemed like a relatively reasonable number. I might wind up lowering that, but yeah, that's something that's also easy to change. So there you have it. Nice, simple, straightforward, pretty much bug-free casino gambling circuit. It's been working great for me, and I intend to keep using it. And I don't have any major issues with it that I'm planning on fixing anytime soon. If I do, you know, it'll be updated on the spreadsheet, which will be linked in the description. So my name is Stupid Fat Hobbit. I stream at Twitch TV, SF Hobbit. Hopefully this helps you guys out, and thanks for watching.